In this video, we're going to be breaking down what if Eren and Mikasa confessed their feelings in Attack on Titan. Throughout the series, their relationship defined both characters, yet fear and circumstance kept them from expressing what they truly felt. To understand how a confession could have changed everything, we need to examine the canonical foundation of their relationship, the scarf that started everything. Eren and Mikasa's bond began when Eren was 9 years old. During a medical visit with his father to the Ackerman home, they discovered Mikasa's parents murdered by slave traders. Eren tracked down the kidnappers to a remote cabin where Mikasa was being held. He killed 2 men before being overpowered by the third, who began strangling him. As Mikasa watched in frozen terror, Eren told her words that would define her existence. "If you don't fight, you can't win." Those words awakened something in Mikasa, and she grabbed a knife and killed her final captor. After they escaped, Eren wrapped his red scarf around her neck to warm her. This simple act became the most important symbol of their relationship. Mikasa wore that scarf every day from that moment forward. For her, the scarf was proof that Eren cared about her. After that day, Eren's family adopted Mikasa. Their childhood was normal until the colossal titan breached Wall Maria. Eren's mother was eaten by a titan while he watched helplessly. That trauma drove Eren to join the Survey Corps. Mikasa followed without hesitation, joining the military solely to stay by Eren's side and protect him. Her devotion became her defining characteristic. The pattern of their relationship was established early. Mikasa protected Eren constantly, often treating him like he needed saving, even when he wanted to prove his own strength. Eren grew frustrated with this, feeling inferior because Mikasa was physically superior. During the Battle of Trost District, when Eren transformed into a Titan for the first time, Mikasa realized she had forgotten that Eren was the one who originally saved her. He gave her the will to fight when she was ready to give up. Their relationship faced a significant test during Season 2 when they confronted the Smiling Titan who killed Eren's mother. Mikasa told Eren how grateful she was that he saved her life and showed her how to live. She appeared to be leaning in for a kiss when suddenly Eren unlocked the coordinate power. This moment revealed how close they came to confessing their feelings, but circumstances interrupted them. The curse of Ymir became crucial to understanding their relationship. All Titan shifters only have 13 years to live after gaining their powers, because Ymir Fritz, the first Titan, lived for 13 years before dying. Eren inherited the Attack Titan and Founding Titan from his father in 845. By the time he was 19, he only had 4 years left to live. When Eren revealed this during Season 3, Mikasa looked devastated. The boy she loved was sentenced to die young. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button because we're about to get into the most crucial moment in their relationship. The question that changed everything. The defining moment came in Chapter 123 during the Survey Corps' trip to Marley. While everyone enjoyed new experiences, Eren remained distant and troubled. By this point, Eren had already glimpsed fragments of the future through the Attack Titan's power, including hints of the coming rumbling. One evening, Mikasa found Eren staring at refugee tents. These refugees had lost their homes to war, just like Eren and Mikasa lost theirs. Eren made a connection between their suffering. As they stood there, Eren asked Mikasa a question that would haunt them forever. "Why do you care so much about me? Is it because I saved you when we were kids, or is it because we're family?" This question caught Mikasa completely off guard. Before she could formulate a real answer, she said the safest thing: "Your family." The moment she said it, Eren's expression softened into something unreadable. Many readers interpret it as disappointment. Their friends arrived seconds later, interrupting any further conversation. Mikasa realized immediately that her answer hadn't been what he hoped to hear, and would spend the rest of the series wondering if a different answer could have changed everything. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated. Eren asked this question when he was at his lowest point. He had seen the future and knew he would have to become a mass murderer to achieve his goals. He was looking for a reason to abandon that dark path. If Mikasa had confessed her romantic feelings in that moment, it would have given Eren something precious: the knowledge that he was loved as himself. Eren later revealed in Chapter 139 that he wanted to be with Mikasa and live with her. If Mikasa had been honest, they might have considered running away together immediately. The cabin vision. What could have been? The alternate timeline shown in Chapter 138 revealed what would have happened if Mikasa confessed. In that timeline, she told Eren her true feelings when he asked the question. They decided to abandon everything and run away together, living Eren's final 4 years in a remote cabin. This timeline was presented through a vision Mikasa experienced while preparing to kill Eren. In the cabin, they lived a simple domestic life. The vision showed an intimate scene where adult Eren, now showing Titan marks on his face as his time ran out, asked Mikasa to throw away the scarf after he died so she could live a long, happy life. The vision implied their feelings were mutual, showing what could have been if Mikasa had confessed. The problem with the cabin timeline was that it solved nothing. While Eren and Mikasa enjoyed 4 years of peace, Marley would have invaded Paradise Island and slaughtered everyone within the walls. Without Eren's actions, Marley's invasion and the plan to use Historia as a royal titan likely would have proceeded. Eren's friends would have been killed or enslaved. The entire reason Eren pursued the rumbling was to protect Paradise from certain destruction. By running away, he would have condemned his people to extinction. Eren understood this reality, which is why, even though he desperately wanted that peaceful life with Mikasa, he couldn't bring himself to choose it. The future he saw through his Titan powers showed him that only the rumbling would guarantee Paradise's safety, at least temporarily. After the Marley trip, Eren became increasingly distant from his friends. He secretly met with Zeke and eventually betrayed the Survey Corps to pursue his plan. This betrayal culminated in Chapter 112, when Eren told Mikasa he had always hated her. He claimed her devotion to him came from Ackerman instincts rather than genuine feeling, that she was programmed to protect him like a slave. This conversation devastated Mikasa. In Chapter 114, Zeke later explained to Eren that Mikasa's behavior came from love, not Ackerman programming, but Mikasa never heard this clarification. She spent the rest of the series haunted by Eren's cruel words, wondering if her feelings were even real. Eren's goal in saying these things was to push Mikasa away, making it easier for her to eventually kill him when the time came. He knew that if she remained emotionally attached, she would never be able to stop him when it mattered most. Eren's true feelings, finally revealed. Eren's true feelings finally came to light in Chapter 139 during a conversation with Armin in the Paths. This conversation took place before the final battle, but Eren used the Founding Titan's power to erase Armin's memory of it until after Eren's death. When Armin asked about Mikasa, Eren completely broke down. He cried and shouted that he didn't want to die. He wanted to be with Mikasa and everyone else. When Armin suggested that Mikasa would eventually move on and find another man after Eren's death, Eren had an emotional outburst. He yelled that he didn't want that. He wanted Mikasa to think about him and nobody else for the rest of her life. He wanted to be at the front of her mind for 10 years at least. Then he immediately felt ashamed of this selfish desire and begged Armin not to tell Mikasa any of this because he genuinely wanted her to be happy and live a long life. This confession proved that Eren loved Mikasa romantically all along, but his circumstances and mission made it impossible for him to act on those feelings. The tragedy deepened because Mikasa never heard this confession directly from Eren. She only learned of it through the memories Eren left with Armin. By the time she discovered the truth, Eren was already dead. She had killed him herself, decapitating his Titan form during the final battle. Before delivering the killing blow, she experienced the alternate cabin timeline through the paths, seeing what their life together could have been. When she finally beheaded Eren, she kissed him as she held his severed head. This kiss was their first and last, a farewell gesture that proved her love never wavered despite everything he had done. Could a confession have stopped the rumbling? The question becomes, could an earlier confession have prevented the rumbling? The answer is complicated. Eren's decision to unleash the rumbling came from multiple factors. He saw the future through his Attack Titan powers and knew that without drastic action, the entire world would unite to destroy Paradise Island. The hatred for Eldians ran too deep to solve through diplomacy or half measures. Eren's decision was calculated to protect his friends and his homeland, even if it meant sacrificing his humanity and becoming a monster. A confession from Mikasa and Marley might have given Eren momentary peace, but it wouldn't have erased the existential threat facing Paradise. He still would have seen the same future memories. He still would have understood that running away meant condemning millions of people to death. However, a confession could have changed the emotional weight Eren carried. Throughout the series, Eren struggled with feelings of inadequacy and loneliness. He felt misunderstood by almost everyone around him. If Mikasa had been honest about her romantic feelings, Eren would have known that at least one person truly saw him and loved him for who he was. This knowledge might not have prevented the rumbling entirely, but it could have altered how Eren approached his final years. Instead of pushing everyone away and suffering alone, he might have shared his burden with Mikasa. They could have spent time together before the final battle, creating real memories, instead of the phantom ones shown in the alternate timeline. Subscribe and let me know in the comments whether you think a confession would have changed Eren's path, how their love freed Ymir and ended the curse. The connection between Eren and Mikasa extended beyond personal feelings. Their relationship became integral to ending the Titan curse itself. In chapter 139, Eren revealed to Armin that Ymir Fritz had been waiting for 2,000 years for someone to free her from the love that bound her to King Fritz. Everyone assumed Eren would be that person, but he clarified that Ymir had been waiting for Mikasa. Mikasa freed Ymir by making an impossible choice, killing the person she loved most to save the world. This act mirrored Ymir's own situation with King Fritz, but unlike Ymir, Mikasa chose to break free from toxic devotion. Her decision to kill Eren, despite loving him, showed Ymir that love doesn't require slavery or blind obedience. This realization gave Ymir the strength to finally let go of King Fritz and release her hold on the paths, ending the power of the Titans forever. This revelation adds another layer to the tragedy. Eren and Mikasa's love story had to end in tragedy because that tragedy was the key to freeing Ymir. If they had run away together and lived happily, Ymir would have remained enslaved to her feelings for King Fritz. The Titan curse would have persisted for generations. Eren understood this reality, which is why he accepted his fate. He created a scenario where Mikasa would be forced to choose between her love for him and the greater good, knowing that her choice would break the cycle that had enslaved humanity for 2 millennia. This doesn't make their tragedy less painful, but it gives it purpose within the larger narrative of Attack on Titan. The scarf remained a powerful symbol throughout the entire story. Eren promised Mikasa as children that he would wrap that scarf around her again and again forever. In Japanese culture, this promise carries deep romantic meaning, essentially functioning as a confession of eternal love. Mikasa treasured this promise, keeping the scarf with her at all times. After Eren told her he hated her in chapter 112, Mikasa briefly stopped wearing the scarf, showing how deeply his words wounded her. However, during the final battle, she took the scarf out of her pocket and wore it again. In the final moments before killing Eren, she tightened the scarf around her neck, choosing to believe in the boy who saved her, rather than the monster he had become. The story concluded with Mikasa visiting Eren's grave under the tree where he used to nap as a child. She brought him flowers and told him she wanted to see him again, asking if he was happy with how everything turned out. As she sat there, the scarf slipped from her shoulders. Suddenly, a bird appeared and adjusted the scarf back around her neck before flying away. Many fans interpreted this bird as Eren's spirit, fulfilling his childhood promise to wrap the scarf around Mikasa again and again, even after death. Whether literal or symbolic, this moment showed that their connection transcended death itself. Years passed, and Mikasa eventually moved on with her life, though she never forgot Eren. The manga's extended ending showed her as an old woman, still visiting Eren's grave with her family. She died wearing the scarf, and she was buried next to Eren under the same tree. Even in death, they were finally together. This bittersweet ending captured the essence of their relationship. Two people who loved each other deeply, but were separated by circumstances, duty, and tragic timing. Attack on Titan presented a love story that existed almost entirely in subtext and sacrifice. Eren and Mikasa loved each other, but fear, duty, and terrible knowledge of the future kept them from speaking that love aloud. Their feelings manifested through actions rather than words. Eren wrapping the scarf, Mikasa dedicating her life to protecting him, both ultimately sacrificing their chance at happiness for what they believed was right. An earlier confession would have given them emotional validation and mutual understanding, but it couldn't have prevented the fixed timeline of events that Eren had already seen. It couldn't have eliminated the threat to Paradis, or changed the fact that Eren had only 4 years left to live. The real tragedy of Eren and Mikasa lies in the fact that when they finally did confess their feelings, him to Armin in the paths and her through the choice to kill him, it was too late for those confessions to matter. The boy who promised to wrap a scarf around a girl again and again kept that promise in his own way, even after death. Their story serves as a reminder that some love stories are defined by what remains unsaid, by sacrifices made, and by choices that prioritize duty over personal desire. Their love was real, but the cruel world they lived in made it impossible for that love to flourish in the way they both secretly wanted. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.